What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you all had a great work week as we're about to enter our weekend. There's some things to talk about. We're going to give you an update on Invest 92L, which is spinning away somewhat, has a nice little low level spin to it off the coast of the southeast. That has the chance to deliver some nasty weather, especially and mainly for coastal areas of North Carolina, portions of Virginia, and South Carolina. Just really the extreme coastal areas. It's really just going to be a nasty, kind of squally weekend. Some tropical moisture definitely flowing into that area. We're also going to give you an update for us fall lovers like me. I'm starting to see consistent, a consistent trend on the mid to long range of the potential for a pattern changing cold front that might sweep through late next weekend. It's starting to really show up consistently on the models, the GFS and the European, which are the king models here. And we're going to talk about that. This looks like a pretty stout cold front. How long it's going to last, I do not know that at all, but we're going to talk about it, which is I'm hoping we can reel this one in. There's also the major storm system potential out in the Midwest. I'm not going to talk about that. I might make another video on that, but I really don't talk much on that region out there. But I will talk about that here in the latter part of the weekend. But we're going to break this thing down for you guys. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like it. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to be taking a trip this Friday with my wife. We're going to go ride the Blue Ridge Parkway just for the day Friday. So I will have some content showing you all the fall foliage. That's another passion of mine, is just being out in nature. And very excited about the future, guys, with storm chasing. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you're the first time viewer, and I'll keep y'all updated daily. So let's get rolling with this. So we check out the satellite loop. We are losing daylight here. Obviously, we've actually lost it towards the end here. But if you notice here before it gets dark, with the satellite representation here, you notice the low-level swirl going on here. If you look right there, there's a little bit of swirl. So that indicates that there is a center, not necessarily a center of circulation, but there is a century part of the storm. The convection is trying to fire up around. Now, the upper level winds are not favorable. There's a lot of dry air it's going to be dealing with, especially here in the next 24 hours to the west side of the storm. So rapid development is not expected to occur. But you'll notice here, it still has a 40% chance to develop into a depression or a storm, which would be Wanda, here in the next 48 hours. So we'll watch that. As far as the track here going forward, this is where data is trying to say what the storm is right about here. And check it out. It actually has it moving towards the coastal areas, which makes you wonder, okay, well, what is this thing going to do? Well, I really think this is going to take more or less this path right here, closer to North Carolina. And I don't think there's going to be much strengthening of this. I think the worst case scenario, the high end of this, is a very weak tropical storm that might take the next name in the hurricane list and the last one in the hurricane list, which would be Wanda. About the most this is going to do is deliver bands of squally rains here, some gusty winds across the Outer Banks. Not a good weekend to go to the beach for a fall beach trip at all. I know going to the beach here in the Carolinas in October is actually a very good time to go to the beach, but it's definitely not a good time this weekend. So if you got plans, and they haven't been made for very long, I would recommend canceling them because it's just not going to be great weather. Unless you're in southern sections of South Carolina, it might not be too bad there. But as far as the intensity, the model intensity guidance has actually ticked down a little bit, so not as many models are indicating this becoming a tropical storm. So I really think this may just kind of maintain tropical wave or tropical depression status and not really strengthen much. But if we take a look at the latest HRRR model, moving forward here, sorry if I'm talking a little bit too loud. I'm trying to talk over my girls screaming in the living room. They're jacked up on airheads and candy and stuff. As it's Friday night, we always like to order a pizza and kind of get our munchies on here and watch a movie. So I'm getting this video knocked out for you guys so I can go join them. So moving forward here, we look at the latest HRRR model. It's the latest long range. We're getting into tomorrow morning. You're probably going to wake up to a pretty wet morning, especially in the PD to eastern areas of South Carolina and then southeastern areas of North Carolina, Wilmington. Very wet start to your Saturday morning, but you see the spin here, just wrapping rounds of heavy rain and squally weather into basically the entire coastal areas of North Carolina and eastern areas of North Carolina. Some of these rain showers will pivot into even as far west as central South Carolina, even areas of Georgia. But I don't think it's going to be a washout once you get to about the Midlands or the Piedmont of North Carolina, the Midlands of South Carolina points west. I think it'll be more of just some clouds and basically weather like it's been the entire week. So probably tomorrow isn't the best day for outdoor activities if you're in the Carolinas, especially the further east you get, but not too bad. But this is really just spinning around. We're getting into overnight tomorrow night, and it dang near here hits tropical storm status according to the latest H-Triple-R model, and almost tries to make official landfall, if you will, as you get into Sunday afternoon. But definitely a very wet weekend for the Carolinas. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch over, and let's talk about how much rain could potentially fall. I forgot I had this pulled up. And we get going through here through the Sunday afternoon period. As much as 2 to 3, 4 inches of rain could fall in areas of the Outer Banks and in the eastern areas of North Carolina. Up the Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, you could have 1 to 2 inches of rain. And still expecting some rain inland, so we'll watch that. But what we're going to look at here is the potential for the cold front. So as you know, I look at dew points when I'm trying to look for a cold front this time of the year. Temperatures do not do it justice when you're this time of the year because they don't show us what air mass is in place. So as I say, every video, dew points here, or the lower dew points are in the greenish colors, the blues and everything. Higher dew points, which is more moist air, is in the more of the yellows and oranges. So moving forward here, this is right now, we're getting into this weekend. Ton of moist air over the week. It's going to be another humid week for most of the eastern U.S. But you notice this big system bringing its own dry air. We get about midweek next week. You're still thinking, okay, there's nothing really dropping southeast. Well, check out as we get into Friday night, basically this time next week. Look at this big area of dry air moving southeast. And remember I talked about last night, you really need a wholesale dip in these cold fronts to really impact a good chunk of the southeast. That is what it's doing. Yesterday, this was kind of digging right up here, if you will. Now it's digging more down here, which is good. So we're getting into the latter part of the weekend, and maybe by Sunday morning we have an all-out cold front, maybe the coolest air of the season, blasting through the entire eastern U.S., and we'll see how long this lasts, but it gets pretty far out. But I noticed this is now inside 9 to 8 days now. So it's been consistently showing. You look at the runs prior, it's been pretty much consistently showing to a degree here. You look at the latest Euro. The Euro says the same thing. It wants to say that, hey, a big-time cold front might come through. Obviously, it's starting further west and moving to the east. But as you get into the weekend, it's in really good agreement with the GFS. The cold front blast through over the weekend from the Ohio Valley to the eastern U.S. down to the southeast, and the Euro has this making it a little bit further southeast, almost all the way down into central Florida. So the signs are there. I think we'll have another warm and humid week next week, but signs are there as we get into, I think about this time next week, we'll be at the heels of a big-time cold front about to move through the southeast. So that's all I got, guys. The weather is just, there's not a whole lot going on, so I'm talking about what I can. But I keep forgetting to mention in my videos, and I'm disappointed that I have been. If there's anything that I can pray about, anything that anybody else can pray about, please put it in the comments. And I would love an opportunity to pray for you guys, and it gives other opportunities to look out for you too. So thank you all for everything. Thank you all for the amazing support. Gear up, because it's going to get active again, especially as we get into the winter months. I love talking about winter events, even when they don't affect my area, which unfortunately they never do. So thank you all for the amazing support, and y'all have a blessed start to your weekend.